My name is Casey Mulholland. My real name is Charles, but I go by Casey. I was actually nicknamed at birth after a famous baseball coach, Casey Stengel. And I can tell you, since birth, baseball has been kind of my life. My dreams were, from a young age, wrapped up in playing in the big leagues. And I always had this dream of just one day tying on my cleats and walking out of the stadium and getting my opportunity to throw one pitch in the big leagues. I look back at my childhood and I recognize that everything that I did, everything my family did was wrapped up in what it meant for me to be a baseball player. When I was playing at a young age, I was playing with guys a lot older than I was. And so I recognized that I had a talent. In high school, I started playing with guys my age again. And I recognized quickly that my abilities were getting noticed. I'd go to school at 7 a.m. and I'd leave at 9 p.m. and my whole day was wrapped up in me playing, training, learning how to train my mind to, perform optimally. And that was kind of the key, was create optimal performance on the field and in my game. My senior year, I was a top 50 ranked player. I was getting looks to potentially be a first round draft pick in the MLB, which means that you end up with, $1 million in your pocket at the age of 18. I was hitting all the right marks to do the thing that I wanted to do. I'm playing my senior year and one pitch and I felt my elbow, my UCL tear. I knew what it was. I knew that moment, the timeline that I'd be under, which was I'd miss the draft that was coming and I'd have a year to rehab, get back healthy and return back to the field. I had everything stripped from me that I knew in my life when I first got hurt. I watched my friends achieve the dream that I was chasing. I was left sitting at home contemplating to myself, who am I? My identity was wrapped up in baseball and it's who I was. I didn't see anything else in my life that I could do. I couldn't keep going down the path of just being wrapped up as a baseball player simply. I had to figure out who I really was. My parents did a great job of introducing me to who Jesus was. I knew Jesus was always there, but I didn't really know Jesus yet in my life. I really had to take a hard look in the mirror and start to evaluate, where do I have my interest, my life, what do I have it wrapped up in? I heard my parents' echoes of like, hey, you got to keep Jesus first in your life. I started going to church more often, spend some time in my youth group, and I started rethinking to myself, this is maybe a place that I want to start to invest some more time in and start to really understand who this Jesus guy is a little bit more in depth than just, what my parents told me he was. So my whole life I'd been taught to train for peak performance. And I realized these traits, these things that I was doing were not just baseball things, they were kind of life quality things too. And so I started training to know Jesus better. My relationship with Christ blossomed. I finally figured out, who is this guy that everybody kept telling me about. It became a personal thing. It became a rock for me that no matter what the situation was, I knew I had my relationship with Jesus. Life was going to be good. The emotional highs and lows of, losing the thing that you had sought for so long, I know Jesus wasn't going to be that. I didn't have to walk through losing Christ. I just had to, devote the time, the energy into seeking him. I did achieve my dream to a degree. I didn't play at the level that I wanted to, but I still got to play professionally and wear a uniform. But it was ultimately another injury, my rotator cuff surgery, that ended up costing me my professional career. No matter what job I work in the future or where I'm at today, my focus is on one thing. It's sharing God's word, building great community to those that are around me, and utilizing my talents that he's blessed me with to do so. God gave me a talent to create great pitchers, to work with kids and professional athletes. And I look at my ability to create relationship with my athletes as kind of the key. That's what God's calling me to, is to pull community together and then ultimately share his word. I want to be an example for them and want them to know, man, if Casey can do that and get through that, and faith is what he's leaning on to get through that, then maybe I should consider that as well. So if I'm inspiring them through my faith, then their faith hopefully inspires somebody else as well. My life has been forever changed now listening to Christ and hearing his messages, not just for baseball, but for my life completely. Where does he want me to go? Who does he want me to see? Who should I share my message with? Trusting on him in each moment of my life to take a deep breath, refocus on where he wants me to be, and going and attacking that, facing the day, and knowing that I'm living for God's message, God's plan.